Welcome to Tech Tuesday. My name is Danielle Ackle, and I'll be your instructor today. Typically an instructor over in the Neely School of Business, so it is my absolute pleasure to be your trainer today. We're going to be talking about meeting requests within Microsoft Outlook. Now, last time we all met, we had a few technical issues. Well, okay, we had a lot of technical issues. So I just want to make sure that everyone can hear us today. If you can hear me, raise your hand, and you'll use that little guy up at the top in your toolbar that has his little hand raised. There we go. Okay, thank you, everyone. It's working. So we'll go ahead and get started. I am going to share my screen, and we're going to pop out Outlook. So give me just a couple seconds here as it refreshes for you. There we go. So we're looking at my calendar. And it's kind of sensitive. There it is. Okay, so here is my calendar. Now, if I need to create a meeting and I have a couple of people that I want to join me, it's real simple, and I'm sure you have already done this, and that is to come up here to the toolbar on the ribbon and select New Meeting. When I do this, a dialog box pops up, and I am able to send it to whomever I wish. So I've already contacted a couple people and let them know that they'll be getting these random meeting requests from me today. So we are going to name our meeting, and we can call it anything we want. You may have a committee meeting that you'll be having. And then, of course, our next field here is the location. Now, most of our rooms are not set up where you can automatically request a room and schedule it using a meeting request, but you can certainly free type it. So we typically meet in Tandy Hall. So I'll type in a room number. Now I'm going to do this next week, and I realize that it's spring break. Oh, there we go. I realize it's spring break, but we're going to request this meeting next week at 2 o'clock. We'll do 2 to 2:30. Now, it's really very annoying when you send out a meeting request and then you get responses from people saying they're not available. So a quick way to see if they might be available or not is to, up on your ribbon, use the scheduling assistant. Now, this doesn't always work, but it's a great way just to see. If you look at the scheduling assistant, you will see that it has a bright blue bar when the areas someone has an appointment. Now, if you look at my bar, because it's me looking, it will actually tell me what it is I have at that time. So Jana here has a meeting set up all day. I bet she's out of the office that week. She's probably taking vacation. And you'll see my other requested attendees also have things booked throughout the week. So if I fast forward past, well, it looks Carlene's going to be out of the office too. If I fast forward the week after, on that Monday the 20th, well, it looks like I'm busy when everyone else is free. But if I go to Tuesday, on Tuesday the 21st, we are all available at 10 o'clock in the morning. Now, it's only as good as someone who uses their calendar. So let's say that Tony Broussard does not put anything in her calendar at all, so she always shows available, and that may not be true. Others tend to put things on their calendar that may be reminders, and so they're actually free. They just have a calendar event listed just to remind them of something else. So again, you may want to know your participants and how well they use their calendar. But in this case, I did find a time on Tuesday, March 21st, and I'm going to schedule my meeting. I'm going to make it an hour long. And so if I go back here to where it says appointment, it's going to let me free type in the message area. And this message will come through with my meeting request. In this case, it'll come through like an email. So that's my message. Please join me for a quick meeting. And when I send it off, each of these ladies will receive an email asking them if they would join me for the meeting. It allows them to accept or decline. And I'm sure you've all done that before. So if I come over here to the 21st, you'll see there's the meeting request. Another way to do it is if you're used to creating a new appointment on your calendar, and you can select new appointment up here in the top left corner, or you can also simply click in your calendar and start typing. But let's use that new appointment button up in the top left. It's real quick. Oh, sorry, it looks just like the meeting request, except there's not a line to add people's names. All I have to do is come up here to the top and say invite attendees, And now I've changed this appointment into a meeting request. It's really just that simple. So let's look at another way that we can create meetings. If we go into our email, we might receive an email from someone reminding us about a meeting. Well, it's not on my calendar. So how can I quickly make it a calendar event? I can grab the email and drag it down to the bottom where it says calendar. You'll notice the moment I hit calendar, my cursor changed. So while I'm in the email, it's got that universal no symbol or stop symbol. But when I come down to calendar, it changes to a little box with a plus in it. And I realize that you can't see the same cursor I do, but it does change the cursor. So when I drop it into calendar, watch what happens. It creates the meeting or the event for me. So the subject is going to be the same subject as the email that was sent to me. And so I'm going to change it because meeting next Tuesday doesn't make any sense to me. But I'll call it the committee meeting. And in this case, next Tuesday. Now, the email said 10 o'clock. It defaulted the current time, so I'll change that. And again, it says Tandy 120, so I will change that to my location. And there I have all the information. So there may be detailed information in the email that I would like in my calendar event. So I'll go ahead. Oh, I forgot to do it next Tuesday. So we'll do the 14th next Tuesday. And when I save and close it, and I go back to my calendar, if I go to the 14th, you'll see that there's the committee meeting we just set up. And there's all the information from the email. So I didn't have to copy and paste it. A simple drag and drop will do. Now, if you noticed in the calendar, if you notice in the email that was sent, there was a Word document attached to it with the agenda. That did not come over into my calendar event. So it doesn't bring your attachments, but you can bring over that attachment quite easily. Let's go back to the calendar, and I'm going to open that meeting that I put on my calendar. So that was next Tuesday on the 14th. It's called the committee meeting. I'm going to double click and open it. Now I'm going to take that window and I'm going to make it so it's not full screen. And I'm going to come over here to my email. And what I can do is simple drag and drop. So I capture this Word document and, my screen just went blank. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to capture this Word document, and so I'm clicking on it, right-clicking on it, and when I drag it, I can pull it into that committee meeting. So this is just a quick way to bring up other windows. So let me do that again. I'm in my email, and I've got that message open. So if I go down here to the bottom, you'll see that I've got my regular inbox open, and then I have another window with that calendar event open. So I'm going to go to my inbox. I'm going to right click on the document, and then I'm going to drag it to my open event. And that allows me to open the window and just drop it in there. So it's really handy to be able to move those documents over without saving it to your computer first and then trying to attach it. But we haven't showed you how to attach those, so let's do that. If I go into my calendar and I've got my test meeting, this is one I set up earlier and hadn't sent out. We're going to call this test meeting with attachment. There are a couple of things I can do here. As with most like Microsoft email, if you're going to send an email, you might want to create an attachment. So we would do that using the paperclip, the attached file. So up here at the top, it's on the ribbon called Insert, and it's attached file. We can just go select any file we want. So that's pretty simple. You do that all the time. But there's another thing we can do, and that's called attach an Outlook item. This allows us to open up a dialog box and go search for things in Outlook we may want to attach to this meeting. It could be an email, and here's all of my folders for my email. It could also be, there's my inbox. It could also be a contact. It could be another meeting out of the calendar if I so want to embed that. But it's really handy that I could actually attach, so there's Tony's contact. I could attach each of their contact cards here. That way I could share it with everyone in the meeting. I like attaching agendas. It is so very handy to have an agenda attached. I'm going to send you a writing rubric and pretend it's an agenda. When I send this meeting request out to each of these ladies on Tuesday the 14th, when they accept it and we come into our calendar, you'll see that little paper clip. You'll know that there is an attachment in there. There's the agenda. Why is this handy? Typically, if we create a meeting request a week or two out and we've sent an email with the attached agenda, how long does it take for us to go find that original email with the attached agenda? It's so much easier that if we set a reminder in our calendar event, that it pops up in the reminder screen, this one being 15 minutes before the meeting, and there's our agenda. We don't have to go look for it. So you can attach files, you can attach contacts, you can attach emails as well. So in this case, if I wanted to send out this is not a meeting, it's simply on my calendar. But let's say I wanted to attach an email to it. I would say Outlook item, go find out where it is, select the appropriate email and attach it. And you'll see it comes through as a little attachment with the envelope. So that's the symbol for the email. That's handy because then it keeps all of the header information intact. Below here is what happens when I just drag and drop it. And so the header information, although it's included, it is not actionable. When I open the email, it's actionable and I can reply to it right here. So depending on your functionality needed, that's very handy. Likewise, maybe I need to have a meeting with a student and it's regarding multiple emails that were sent to me. I could attach every single one of these emails, and then when the student comes in, I don't have to go searching for them. They're right there and very handy for me. So we've talked about creating a new meeting, whether we do it from the new meeting button on the ribbon or we use an appointment and create a meeting. We can use an email and copy and paste it into a meeting request. We can attach files and attach other emails or contacts. The only thing we really haven't looked at is how to create a recurring meeting. So if I open up this particular meeting, this is my committee meeting that I sent out. Oh, I haven't sent this out. I'm going to invite attendees to my committee meeting. And I'm going to make it reoccurring. So in this case, I don't need an agenda. That will change each time. And we'll go ahead and delete all that information. So this is our standing committee meeting we're going to have every week. I use the recurrence button at the time, or I'm sorry, the recurrence button up at the ribbon. And of course here it's going to default to the time that my meeting is already scheduled for, so 10 to 10:30. So I need to make that, go ahead and make it an hour long. It's going to happen every other week. So we're going to do weekly and then say occurs every other week, so every 2 weeks on Tuesday. And when will we end? Well, we're going to end at the end of the semester. So we'll back it up into May. And the graduation's on the 20th, so we'll end it there every 2 weeks up until May 20th this year. So when I hit OK, you'll notice that the information on when the meeting was scheduled has disappeared. That's because it's a recurring event. So if I want to change it, I need to come up here and hit the recurrence button again. Now when I send it out, when each of these ladies receives the invitation from me and they hit accept, the meeting will populate every other Tuesday from now until May 20th. So I'll go ahead and send that out. And there you have it. Now let's pretend just for a moment in 2 weeks' time, we have our committee meeting set up for March the 28th, but unfortunately something's happened and I need to change it. I need to contact all the attendees. So how do I do that? I could go to Mail and start a new email and type all their names in, or I could simply highlight the event, and up here there's a button called Contact Attendees, and it lets me send a new email to the attendees or reply to all with email, meaning the calendar event. So if I click the new email, there it is. It populates everyone's name who's in that calendar event, and then it gives the subject the same as the meeting. Very handy. I can also do it if I have the meeting open. That Contact Attendees button is up there as well. So multiple ways that you can contact your attendees with a simple click of a button. So that is it for our agenda today. Are there any questions? Feel free to use the chat down below if there's anything you'd like me to cover again or something you're curious about that I haven't covered yet. So Melissa asked a question about Doodle Calendar. I don't believe that Doodle and Microsoft Outlook are synced. So you can send a Doodle out to find the best time, and then you'll have to come back into Outlook and create your calendar event within Outlook separate from Doodle. So if you're asking about Doodle, so I say let it automatically select the best time. If you come over to the scheduling assistant, and again, we're looking at when everyone is available, then you can come over to, let's see, I apologize, because I've selected an open time, it's not giving me the option. So let's say I do it here. It allows me to auto pick down here in the options. So it looks like you guys can't see what I'm seeing, but down there at the bottom, there is a button, and when you click on this options button, the options that you receive are show only my working hours, show calendar details, and then is an option for you to auto pick, and you can auto pick Outlook to find, based on the calendars available, all people and resources, all people in one resource or requestable. Because that's one thing that we really didn't look at. Up here, you have next to each name an option to say that they are required, optional, or they are a resource. And I've clicked on it. You guys can't see what I see. Little round buttons next to each name. Right now it shows where arrow, and that means it's a required attendee. So when you hover over it, then it tells you that's required. I can click it and change it to optional. And that's what it's referring to down here on the options button. And I'm hovering over it right now on the bottom left-hand side. And when I click on it, I get auto pick, and then I can say required people. When I do that, you see how my screen jumped real fast? It shows me the next available time that everyone is available is Monday, March 20th at 4:30. So I hope that answers your question. It's not quite like Doodle because what it does is it only looks at what's on the calendar now. And as I mentioned, but they may not have everything on there, or they have something set up that's not really a meeting and really free. So it doesn't hurt to send it out and ask if there's anything that you need to be aware of, or if they're actually available before that. But that's one way you can have the system auto pick. Okay, well, if there are no questions, I will thank each of you for your time today. I hope that you have enjoyed it. And Carlene has reminded us that you can watch recordings of each of our past webinars on the Tech Tuesday website there at it.tcu.edu. And on March 28th, we will be covering the mail merge in Microsoft Word. If you have suggestions on other topics you would like to see covered, please do not hesitate to contact either myself or Carlene Coover. We love to hear the things you want to know about. So if there are no other questions, I will say thank you.